Today on Journey to Prophecy.
And this warfare got so intense. I remember taking an overdose for the first time at the age of 13. I took a whole bottle of pills. And that night, I went to bed and I just knew I was gonna die. I knew it. I was like, okay, I'm dying. You know, sometimes the enemy will attack your mind when God has a purpose and plan for you. My attacks on my mind started at the age of 13 because of not knowing who I was and not knowing that God's plan for my life, or not having an understanding of what God was saying concerning me. The warfare started to be so intense. This intense warfare started in my mind about the age of 13. The enemy couldn't take me out because of all the different things I went through with situations, as far as like all the accidents and all that kind of stuff. So he started trying to war with me within. And the war within started in my mind. And when I started to hear the enemy's voice so clearly, he would tell me that I wasn't nothing, I wasn't gonna be nothing, that I wasn't good enough, that I might as well die where I was. And that warfare, nobody could understand what I was saying, and it just seemed like it was just so much chaos that was going on in my life, within my household and from within myself. And this warfare got so intense. I remember taking an overdose for the first time at the age of 13. I took a whole bottle of pills. And that night, I went to bed and I just knew I was gonna die. I knew it. I was like, okay, I'm dying. I'm not gonna wake up in the morning. And I remember the next morning when I heard the alarm clock go off, I was like, I didn't die. I didn't understand how I did not make it through that night. And I had no idea that I was pregnant. No idea that I was pregnant that young. After taking all those pills, got up, went to school that day. Got to school and I started having like real intense stomach cramp. And I ended up going to the emergency room. Still no idea that I was about 4 or 5 months pregnant. No idea. And I ended up, my mom took me to the emergency room, and she was like, she just having a stomach issue. And I'm like, this is bad, Mom. I don't know what this is. I didn't understand what was going on. And I was like, I got to go to the bathroom. I got up, jumped up off the bed and ran to the bathroom and delivered the baby, not even knowing I was pregnant at all. Through that, God began to just wake me up. Like, it just literally wake me up. And I really began to see life from a whole entire different perspective. Because I didn't realize that God was doing something, but at the same time, I didn't realize He wanted to do it through me. All I knew was, what I was going through just seemed to be so hard, and I just felt like giving up was the only option that I had. Fast forward, it's my senior year in high school, 17 years old. I academically am doing very well. I did not have plans for college because college was never talked about in my house. It's not that my mom probably didn't want me to go, but it was just something that probably that never had happened in my family. So college was far from my mind, but I found out I was about to birth a little boy senior year. And I remember after I had my son, it was like, now responsibility need to begin. I went and got my own place. I stepped out, I got my own place. I had a full-time job, and I was a full-time student in high school. Senior graduation night, I went home with my baby to my own house with my own bills, driving my own car. I had my mind made up that I wanted something different from my life, and the only way I was going to get it if I got up and did something concerning the things in my life. So you have me as a single mom. I've graduated from high school. I have my own apartment. And I remember saying, I want to get out this apartment. I don't want to live in an apartment my whole life. I had been there almost a year, and I was like, I want to move in the house. So my mind thinking, I'm going to go rent me a house. So I was looking around, looking at houses, and I was like, I'm going to rent me a house. I started looking around, and I saw a couple places, and there was a real estate sign in one of these yards of a nice home. And I was like, oh, that's a nice house. I want them to let me rent it. So that's my mindset. I'm like, I'm just going to call these people and see if they'll let me rent it. I called the number, and he said, no, I'm a real estate officer. We don't rent properties. You want to buy one? Now, mind you, I'm 19 years old. I'm saying, buy a house. what's this mean? So I started the process, and I started thinking about it. He told me how much money I had to have and what I need to do in order to get this house. I was like, well, can you afford? I had started a great job at that time, making good money. I just bought a brand new car. I was like, okay, I'm gonna give this a try. So I ended up purchasing my first house at the age of 19 years old. When I purchased the home, I was like, oh, okay, I'm in a good place in my life. It seemed like I was reaching for materialistic stuff so hard at that point. I was like, I'm just going to get all that. I want brand new furniture in every room. I want this, I want that. So I felt like I was living my best life. Had the new car, had the new home, had all the things in the home. Was doing good with finances, had a good bank account. But at the same time, if you don't have God, you don't have nothing. So I began to realize this because when sickness knocked at my door, approximately 3 to 4 years later after staying in my home and living my best life, I thought, when sickness knocked at my door, I realized that I had to have God. I began to go to church more, and I said, oh, Lord, I want a greater walk with you, a more intimate relationship with you. And in getting this more intimate relationship, it took me making some sacrifices. I began to realize that some of the things that I had to let go of. And that's when that process began.
Next on Journey to Prophecy.
I'm saying, Lord, I just accepted you. I just realized that I needed you and that the stuff wasn't enough. And you mean to tell me I'm going to lose everything now? I didn't understand why now. Why couldn't it have happened before I got to this point? So I'm sitting in front of the 4-lane, and I'm sitting in my car, and I remember seeing 18 wheelers go down the road, and so many demons were tormenting my mind. I was hearing spirits say, take your car around. Click the link below and subscribe to our YouTube channel.